Greetings, Mech Warriors, and welcome to This Week in Comp for the week of January 27th, 2025. This past week was the second week of competition in the 7th Inner Sphere Coalition Tournament. Before we dive into it, if you're not familiar with ISC, it's a 6 versus 6 tournament using only Inner Sphere tech. Drops are 3 cap conquest, meaning that 2 points, usually the home points, are off limits. And if you capture 1, then you have to kill all the opposing mechs in order to secure the win. Each drop in a match sees an increase in maximum tonnage, so we get to see a fair variety of strategies along the way. Match wins are obtained by a best of 5 matches. The tiebreakers are wins against tied teams and then overall game wins. For the comprehensive rules, check out the description of this video for a link. And without further ado, let's take a look at some highlights. All right, first we have King of the Hill submitted by Clap Spatten. This is Joke Flight versus European Redcoats in Division F. As we see 3 here in the Javelin, starts going off on Clap, trying to get him off that hill, but falls into the Viper Pit of the rest of the European Redcoats. Meanwhile, Trader in the Locust. Look at that. Look at these percentages right here. We're at 97 now. Clap is at 89, still at 87. We are just trading blows up on top while 3 hangs on for dear life and tries to get his friends to give him some help. They're coming around the corner. He's going to get some fire. Probably going to be able to hold on there. But let's check back with Trader. Trader at 89% has gotten Clap down to an even 70%. Clap drops. Trader says, all right, my work here is done. No way, I'm still going to hang out here. All right, here we go. Regroup for the European Redcoats. So we've got 3 and Co down on that little node over by the center of the screen, drifting to the left, and we see a strike drop there on that group. Really nice strike, and there goes 3. All right, next up we have Polar Pick, again by Clap Spatten, and it's the same match, the European Redcoats versus Joke Flight. Here we've got Plex and Corin Huss going after each other. Well, actually, Corin Huss and Co are going after Plex, who manages to duck behind this hill. This is a Locust versus a Vulcan here. Plex is going to get some help from his friends in the back, but Corin Huss is going to get away with that pick for 3%. Next up, we've got Which Way Did He Go, George? Submitted by Luscious Balzac. Once again, Joke Flight European Redcoats. If you want some variety, please submit clips. But here we have Rampa Frenos in the Atlas, and Baxter and Jujutsu in Vulcans here, and Rompe is just gonna kind of, well, go on a little romp. Just on his merry way, taking a look. We got Baxter and Jujutsu just totally missing and looking the other way. This is wild, and you think, friends, play with your audio on. That might help you. It might be a little out. It might be a little funky in that section, but look at this. This is wild. Just complete miss on both teams. That'll do it for our clip section. And now on to the standings. In Division A, the coalition of overachieving Mech Warriors separates from the pack early, securing their 2nd win, while all other teams have suffered 1 loss at least. This leads to a bit of a messy looking scoreboard, so let's take a look. The Revenants, KDCM, Hacks, and XD8 are all tied for 2nd according to match wins. The next tiebreaker is number of match wins against tied opponents, which, due to the schedule, means that only KDCM and the Revenants have a match win against a tied opponent. Both XD8 and Hacks have wins against Mantra, but Mantra is not one of the tied teams. The next breaker is the overall drop wins, which puts the Revenants ahead by 1. Make sense? No? Well, moving on. Division B has a tie for 1st place between Clan Crossfire and Mandatory Fun. Once again, we see those tiebreakers come into effect with Crossfire and Mandatory Fun, and the Reapers having 2 wins and no wins against a tied team. This brings us to those overall drops, which ties up Crossfire and Mandatory Fun. KDCM, the Sky Rangers, and Ham and Cheese have some catching up to do in the meantime as they struggle to get some drop wins. In Division C, we have Elohim and the Salvage Crew sitting tied for the top spot with the same situation as Div B. However, this week's match between the Hellraisers and Fjord Focus means that the Hellraisers break that tie with their win against Focus to hold on to third. DPS and the Pocket Burgers have gotten shunted down to the bottom of the pack, but they're not quite out of it yet. There's plenty of tournament to go. Division D, of course, has another tie on match wins, but the Tikhonov Rangers have a one-drop advantage over Big Bread. Likewise, Aces Wild edges out the Rasselhake Rejects by one drop, and NAF and Erie are tied for fifth. In Division E, Clan Extra Fleek, Gear, and the MechWarrior UA community are sitting on top with two wins each, again with no matches against each other to compare. The Nuisance Navigators hold fourth with 3 wins, drop wins that is, while the Talons and Rocket Rangers tie for fifth with no drop wins. Division F sees a tie for fourth with both European teams having 8 drop wins and no matches against each other. The Bird Brains and Bacon Pirates take up that second competition slot, while the Esquadron Suicide and Jake Flight take position down at the bottom. In Div G, Rattler Flight and the CDU Bandits are vying for first, coming down to tiebreakers just like everybody else. Task Force Athena and the Smooth Brains are tied for third, with Dumpster Fire and the Raven Irregulars in fifth and sixth. For the Division H, we have something a little different. This division only has 5 teams, which means we now get to factor in bye weeks. Bears Brawlers and the Sapper Squad have already had theirs, but have so far secured those top positions, with the Cyrus Stars and Buffalo's Wild close behind. All 4 have 1 win notched in their belt, but the Brawlers and Sapper Squad have both secured wins against a tied team. The Brawlers against Buffalo's Wild and the Sappers against the Cyrus Stars. This puts those 2 tied for first position, broken by their win records, and the Ristars and Buffaloes in third and fourth. Their tie broken by their respective records. And finally, Div I, which, like many other divisions, has 3 tiers right now. Smoke Keshik and the Bacon Privateers are hanging out at the top, with the Cutthroats and Death's Hand Brigade occupying that middle spot. The Shadowcat Wizard Gang and the Stellar Behemoths are both trailing with no match wins. As I mentioned last week, it's still very early days, and we'll start to see those teams separate as we go along. But keep those tiebreaker rules in mind going forward now that we have lots of practice, because I have a feeling we're going to need them in a few cases. Coming up this weekend, we have even more matches. Due to the number of matches and the fact that the schedule usually solidifies closer to the weekend, I don't have any specific times and matches for you to check out yet. And it's early, so I really don't see any pivotal matches to keep an eye out for either. But check the description for a link to the Match and Caster schedule, which updates live as the teams schedule them and the casters claim the matches. Keep an eye out on the official MWO Comp Twitch channels, also linked in the description. But in addition to those, there will be even more matches unofficially cast on personal Twitch channels. So try to keep an eye on the Discord for those. And that'll do it for this week in Comp. Don't forget to send in your favorite clips and moments, which you can do at the email in the descriptions or via DM in Discord. Just look for Ivor in the MWO Comp server. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for playing. I'm Ivor, and I hope to see you on the field.